everybody. Welcome back to the Sales on Demand Show. This is Adam Schneider. This is going to be episode 115, and today's show is going to be a interview with a really successful seller named Will Haimerl. So Will Haimerl is the man behind a site called ppc-coach.com. I'll put that in the show notes, of course. And in this episode, Will and I are just sort of musing about the future of Facebook ads, a few other, things all about print on demand. Will sells his print on demand products through paid ads, but he's also getting into Etsy sales as well. So I wanted to just interview him, and this interview was actually for Gear Bubble, but I decided to throw a copy on the podcast just because, why not? It was a great interview, and I think you guys will get a lot out of it. It's fairly long. It's about 47 minutes long, so, put it on and go for a long, walk or something like that. It's great time of year to get outside and do some great stuff. So, without further ado, here is myself and Will Haimerl. Cool. Well, this is the meat and potatoes of what I'm hoping to get from you. So you, and this will be sort of the start of our interview here, you are a very successful Gear Bubble seller. You might be one of the two successful people that I know of, you and Bank, I guess. And of course, Don himself is pretty successful. But I'm happy that I snagged you as my first interview here because, I could probably pick your brain for 10 hours and not even dig past the meninges of it. Let's just begin with like a really broad overview. How long have you been selling on Gear Bubble, and kind of what's your bragging points on that?
Oh man. Don would know better than me, but it's been years and years. Before it became super popular, it seems to be gaining momentum now more than ever because of competition coming out, but that's a good thing. Competition makes everybody stronger, and Don's adjusting nicely to the competition, which I really like. So, I crossed 7 figures with it last year in the fourth quarter run up. So, I guess I'm $1 million seller. That's my biggest bragging point, I guess you'd say. And I did a lot of that with Facebook ads. So I'm kind of a paid traffic and print on demand guy.
Yeah. Facebook ads. There was a golden age of Facebook ads, of course.
There was the key word.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everything changes. I guess we can talk about some of the changes that occurred and how everybody's adapting to that. So Facebook released an update, the iOS 14 update. Is that kind of what the update was called, or was there just a bunch of changes that kind of occurred?
Well, they always go through a bunch of algorithm changes a couple times a year, but they never tell you when. You just all of a sudden log into your account and you go, why is my performance down? And then you go, oh, they must have updated something. And sure enough, then you go into a bunch of groups and you speak to other people. You're like, oh yeah, theirs is down too. So they did an update. But this most recent one, I think, is the biggest one. And like you said, like the golden age of Facebook ads, I believe it's over, unfortunately, until we can come up with a way to track these things better. And honestly, unless they buy right away with, like UTM tracking, or Gear Bubble actually has tracking IDs, which I used years and years ago as a backup to the pixel tracking. And it worked very well to see where your sales came from. But from an optimization point of view on Facebook's algorithm end, it does nothing because Facebook can't see the sale. So if they can't see the sale, they can't optimize your ads. And now you're just kind of Facebook's flying blind on who to deliver to. And although you can see where the sale came from, it doesn't matter because even if you upload that back, it's kind of too late. So
yeah.
What do you do, right? I think it's just time to adapt, adjust, and move forward. That's it. That's what we do online.
Yeah. When Facebook ads came out, I don't know. People started doing print on demand Facebook ads, I don't know, 7 years ago, probably maybe even longer than that. But it
Yeah,
used to
I
be
think.
easy. You just create a group, get people to join it and then spam the group with posts is
Oh,
what I'm
back
hearing.
then it was unbelievably easy. I mean, the guys who made fortunes, they did those personalized name T-shirts, right? Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
you could buy a scraper that would scrape the name of a person on Facebook. I actually created my own scraper. I don't care if Facebook knows that now; it doesn't matter to me. But
Yep.
I could scrape like everybody who's named Adam, and then I could make a list of that, and I could upload that to Facebook, and I could make ads that said Adam's the best or whatever, world's best Adam, and I could slap that on a T-shirt and make a mint. But sure enough, they banned it because people got spooked, of course. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you load up your news feed and you see your name all over the place, you're like, oh, how do they know? It's like people don't understand how tracking works at all. So, like Facebook, even if you don't ever buy anything on Facebook, they know what you buy because they'll buy data from credit card companies and
Right.
they'll match that up to you. So they know who you are, they know what you buy. So when an advertiser comes in, they know what to show. But when none of that is working, none of the tracking is working, they can't track you, the system is broken.
Yeah.
So right now it's like a roller coaster where the rails are broken all the way along. So you'll go for a bit and then you'll just go right off the tracks and crash and burn. And I, you know, Facebook ads in right now on, July 2021, who knows? Who knows
Mm-hmm.
what to do?
I think most regular non-commerce people, they don't understand that the value built into Facebook is not in, you know, people using it. It's in the data that Facebook can collect about you and being able to show targeted ads. And if Facebook is removing the value of those targeted ads, it's going to affect the utility of Facebook and probably how many people will end up using and advertising on it. I mean, this might be the end
Oh
of
yeah, yeah,
Facebook as a dominant company, just
yep.
like MySpace. So who knows what the next one's going to be? But there's always some new thing coming out, and I know that you're not giving up on e-commerce.
Oh no,
I
God
know
no,
that you're not.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, of course not. I am curious though. Where are you doing? What are you doing these days?
So now I've been exploring TikTok ads quite a bit.
Mm,
I've been exploring YouTube ads a lot, and actually leaning on YouTube ads more than anything. They're very powerful. And if you
mm,
think about it, YouTube and Google has like more traffic than Facebook because people love watching videos. And I find myself too. I'll watch some of these videos of these kids who like buy a truck and destroy it. And I don't know why. I'll just have it on the background. But the kid makes like millions of dollars a year just buying a truck and destroying it. So if that's my target market of like males like me who are bored, maybe like middle-aged men, if I have a product that matches that, I can put an ad in front of that. And that's how I can make money. So same with jewelry and with necklaces and coffee mugs and Gear Bubble products match up very well with that. So if I want to target females or even males, and I want to get them, that my main niche is like dad to daughter, right? That's where I
yeah.
made the bulk of my money with jewelry, and so if I want to target males who are like middle aged and probably have a kid, possibly a daughter, I can put ads on that video
Hmm.
because I know that. And you're thinking, well, it's a kid destroying trucks. Why are you gonna put a necklace ad on that? Because my demographic is watching it. So,
Yeah.
and there is a buttload of traffic from that, like so much traffic, like an unbelievable amount. The channel that I was watching, the guy gets like 2 million views on every 20-minute video he puts up. So you just put an ad in there and man, you're gonna get sales. Like there's no two ways about it. Now, the stumbling point that I'm finding a lot of people are having with YouTube ads is they don't know how to make a video. But
Hmm.
there are so many online like little video generators and apps and Camtasia and even your phone itself. All you do, order the product, shoot a 2-minute video of you holding it and talking about it. There's your video.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple. But I find, what am I doing now? Well, I'm finding people don't like change. And once they get used to a system, it is so hard to say, hey, you know what? That's not really working well right now. So come over here. That
Hmm.
pull to try and get them to come over is not easy. And that's kind of what I'm doing now is trying to convince people like, look, there's more options out there. You don't have to just rely on one traffic source and you never should. So I'm trying to pull people over to other paid traffic sources, as well as I've been leaning on Etsy quite a bit
Mm.
for,
Yes.
just for consistent, year round kind of long term is my viewpoint on Etsy. And if I build up a shop in there and I have several hundred products and they're making consistent sales, I'm very happy with that. And then of course I'm going to diversify with my own direct to platform and I don't really use Shopify, but I will use Gear Bubble Direct a lot. Actually, that's the bulk of my business because
Yeah.
I don't want to do customer service. So I love it. That's the biggest selling point for me. So I can still use Gear Bubble. I don't have to use Facebook ads. I can use YouTube ads now.
Yeah.
And it's just a shift. So it happens. It always happens online. And we just, like I always say, adjust, adapt, move forward. And the adjustment is let's bring in more traffic sources.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you mentioned Etsy. That is definitely falls within my wheelhouse and what I've been doing. And I've often looked at the world of paid traffic and said, interesting, but I this is my this is what I do, and so I've been reluctant, or maybe I just didn't have time to do it and make it work. But I think this year and probably bleeding into next year, I'm going to have to diversify because I'm if I want $1 million business, I can't just rely on Etsy and personalization. Although personalization on Etsy is fantastic, but everything kind of synergistically works together. So you can
Yeah.
test a product on Etsy, and then when you find, test 100 products, find 7 or 8 things that work well with people, fire those ones up on ads on YouTube. You kind of already proven that people like them. So
That's exactly where I'm heading. So
yeah,
when you load up on Etsy, you can load up for 20 cents, right? US,
yeah, yeah,
um, versus spending $50 to $100 on a Facebook ad. So, you're gonna find those winners, and then when you want to scale them outside of Etsy, man, it is unbelievable, like so powerful to just go with paid traffic on those winners.
mm-hmm,
So that is a great game plan, and that's kind of where I'm heading with my testing, because I don't want to be throwing money away testing on a Facebook ad when I know it's not tracking, and I know I won't be able to scale it there. So I want to find my winners on Etsy and then move them over to paid traffic to really scale them to the moon. Especially, we're coming into the fourth quarter, which is,
mm,
as you know, right? That's the time of year we all make like 70-80% of our revenue comes from the fourth quarter. So
yep,
now's the time for anybody. I mean, year round works, but man, fourth quarter is just that's when you just do a happy dance every day, looking at your ad accounts and
yeah, yeah,
your
exactly,
Gear Bubble dashboard. It's amazing.
yeah. So the new jewelry.
Oh
Have you
man,
tried? What do you think of this?
I am pumped. I am beyond pumped. Like the only thing I found that was ever missing and was this high quality stuff that
Mm,
he's got coming out. I am so excited for this. I cannot wait to use this. Like this is going to be, it's like Christmas in July for me, because
yeah,
I've been selling the stuff that he has, that Gear Bubble has, for a long time, and it works well and it's good. But when you take it up a notch, oh boy, like it's just, I can't wait. I've never been more excited about to have a new product come in and new product lines and the customization, and it's just, you see those ads on Facebook for the personalized stuff, and it's a high
yeah,
quality jewelry, and I've been, well, I've spent quite a bit of time trying to track down suppliers for that over the years, because I know it works, and I've been trying to
mm-hmm,
find one, and nobody will do it, because when you when you contact like I don't know what the big one was, some name jewelry company, name necklace or something like that. So I found them. They're in like New York, and I got on a call with them and I said, "Hey, I really want to sell these personalized necklaces because they're pure gold and they work really well." And they're like, "Okay, how many do you want?" And I was like, "No, no, no, I want to sell them, and then like you deliver them, like print on, like drop shipping, like you know." And the phone went silent, and they had no clue like what I was talking about. I'm like, oh crap, this is going to be difficult. So I take the order and then I send you the order and you fill it and you send it out and send me the tracking number, send them the tracking number. They're like, what? So I think
yeah,
with Gear Bubble coming in with all the infrastructure and the experience and the systems that they have in place, and the fact that Gear Bubble converts at such a high rate already, this is just going to put it through the roof. So
Brilliant.
yeah, I can't wait. I want to get my grimy little hands on every little new necklace product they have,
Yeah.
and just pump up stores and everything with it. I'd even be tempted to go back to Facebook ads right now with
Hmm.
Gear Bubble's new stuff because it's amazing. It will definitely be on YouTube ads for me, 100%.
Yeah, it's fresh and new. It's funny
Yeah,
that you talk that story about trying to get, these traditional companies. It's almost like trying to describe a rocket ship to someone who just drives a horse and carriage. And they're
yeah,
like, "This is amazing. You should try it out." And they're like, "Where do you put the horses on it?" They just don't understand the
yeah,
concept. They're living in a different age and running a business that's probably not, growing the way that, print on demand is growing, and they don't really know how to convert to that.
yeah. And it's like with the the pandemic and everything that happened there, all the shutdowns. When it first happened, I was a little bit concerned about my business because I'm like, what's going to happen
Yeah.
if people are like kind of saving their money and they don't want to spend anything, right? And you probably saw it too, and you went, sales actually went up
Yeah.
because everybody's online and they're bored. They're so bored, they're buying everything,
You got it.
and it's
Yeah.
like I actually ended up having one of my best years ever just because people are online, they're buying. So now when you combine that with Gear Bubble like doing a massive upgrade to their jewelry, it's like, man, this is awesome. This is
Yeah.
just it's a good time to be a Gear Bubble seller for sure.
It really is a good time to be doing anything online, especially something where people who never shopped online in 2019, they were stuck in their house, right? And like you said, I was actually concerned that all of our warehouse and printing facilities would be shut down. But Don said
Yeah.
that even if they have to send, these machines home with people and do it in their basement, he said we're still going to continue shipping out orders, which I'm glad they didn't have to do that, and we did find some ways around it. But after a very small initial dip in sales, they just shot through the roof, and then we were selling masks. It was like Christmas in July selling masks. I probably made $20,000 off of masks. It was
All right on.
it was insane. And there's
Awesome.
always, talking about masks. There's always some new product. My main thing had always been mugs, and mugs are good. They do sell well on Amazon and Etsy. They're easy to get for FBA. I print my own mugs here in my house. Um, but there's so much out there that I don't want to pin myself down to any one product. It's just a matter of finding out what kinds of designs people like on different products, testing them out. For that, I'm going to need a team. So my next strategy is building myself a team that can just sort of go out, make designs, order them, test them on products, so that I don't have to sit there and do it myself. That
Right
that
on.
to me is going to be my next strategy. But what what's your routine like these days? How do you test your products? How do you work through your own process, I
Yeah,
guess?
so that's cool that you said that about you don't want to pigeonhole to just coffee mugs. And the only reason that I wasn't running more coffee mugs was because I'm a paid traffic guy. So I'm shifting. So my routine is um, I ran jewelry a lot because I could make like 30 bucks a sale instead of 10 bucks a sale on a mug or less, right? After you run ads. So I needed something with a bigger profit margin. This new jewelry coming in is going to have an even bigger profit margin because you can charge
Right.
more. So when you
Yeah.
can charge more, you make more. You actually get a little bit better customers. I find when you
Mhm.
charge a little bit more, like less complaints, less. Not that I really deal with that, but on Etsy I do, but not off Etsy. So my routine for testing now is I will be putting it on Etsy, and I'll be finding my winners that way, and then I'll be taking those winners and scaling them with paid traffic. Like I am going to use TikTok, I am going to use YouTube, I'm going to use Google Search, I'm going to use Google Display, I'm even going to use banner ads on YouTube, which is
Mm.
like an ad on the bottom of the video,
Yeah.
or even on the top right where you can put a little banner as well. So that's going to be my process. But as far as you said you need a team for designs and all that good stuff. You absolutely do. That's one of the things that I've done recently. As I said, I find all the people that I've trained over the years, one of the biggest stumbling blocks I see is design. They'll
Mm.
just they'll make something on their own, and it just looks awful. Like
Yeah.
I don't I appreciate the hustle and the effort, but there's no way it's going to sell in a million years because it just looks like um, it looks like my 4-year-old did it. And
Yeah.
she's a good artist, but she's 4, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so what I did is I took that and I said, okay, I'm going to make like a template club, and I actually
Ah,
created a template
yes.
club. So now
Yes.
I actually offer templates to people who they can use and edit, and that eliminates that issue with them, and they can take one template and make like 100 different quotes on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I just basically took the designers I really have been working with, took all the things that I know work, like the elements of a design that make it work, and it's usually less is more with a
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
So I've taken that, I've put together, like theme template packs now. So like we're in wedding season, so the next one coming
Mm-hmm.
out is for weddings, and it's for like, a bridesmaid gives a gift to her wedding party. So what better gift than like a necklace or like a message card or something like that, or a groomsman will give like coffee mugs or whatever we can do, right? So, and I know wooden watches are coming out as well. That's something that,
Oh,
right? That's going to be
yes.
amazing. So those wooden watches have sold like millions and millions and millions. If you
Mm-hmm.
go to Etsy
Yeah.
and just type in like wooden watches, you're going to be blown away at how many are on there. So that's where I'm heading, and it's just taking the gift angle and applying that with the templates that I have, and then scaling on paid traffic. So it's a different. 2022 is going to be a little bit different for me. Q4 is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to be testing with Facebook ads. I'm going to be
Yeah.
testing with my Etsy shop.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Facebook had its good days, and now we move on. Still, the principle is still the same. We're finding the buyers. We're showing them something that we think that they're going to want to buy. It's just that the buyers are in different locations, and tracking the sales just is a little bit different this year. But this industry is not going away.
No,
You know, e-commerce isn't dying, and
no.
newspapers are dying. Radio is dying, but this is a growing industry. And even though I'm just doing marketplace sales, I'm confident that even if Amazon and Etsy shut down tomorrow, I would still have places that I can sell. Maybe it would take me a little bit of time to learn some of the new techniques on different platforms, but there's always going to be people out there buying. And even when the economy sucks, people are still buying gifts for each other because it kind of makes the feeling of suck go away when you buy a gift for somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the business we're in. It's putting a smile on people's faces.
Yes.
So that the person who's giving the gift is happy, and the person who's getting it is going to be happy too. So what a great
Right.
business, right? That's
Oh yeah.
awesome. It's wonderful. And you think, okay, I had this idea one time, and I put it onto a product like maybe a coffee mug or a piece or a necklace, and somebody bought that because they liked it, so they smiled. Then they gave it to their kid or whoever, and they smiled. So now you made two people happy with an idea that just sat in your head, and it just blows your
Yes.
mind that that's your business.
Yeah.
Where else in the world can you do that? You, there's not
Exactly.
really much else out there that does that. So it is a great business. It's not going away anytime soon. In fact,
That's
it's only going to get bigger.
absolutely. Yeah. And with changes, I mean, there are a lot of sellers, but the ones that stick around are the ones that can adapt. That's what I
Right.
noticed. So when change and I noticed this in the marketplace selling too. People, they start making some success and they get to a plateau level, but it's not enough money that they can quit their job and just say F you to the rest of the world. And so their expectations weren't met and they think, okay, it's not possible for me to compete. I'm just gonna quit. But my sales go up every single year. And I'm not sitting at my computer slaving away. I work maybe 20 minutes a day on new things, and that 20 minutes I'm putting as much time as as much work as I can into 20 minutes. But I mean, that's it. That's what I'm doing. But things change, and it's frustrating. So the biggest thing I think for new sellers is expect change. Learn not just don't watch the video and see which buttons are being pushed. Understand what's going on and why we're doing this, that, and the other thing. And when things change, when the appearance of PicMonkey or some other program changes, you won't be thrown off because you understand the fundamentals more than just a surface view of what people are doing without really knowing why they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I say. Like I do one-on-one coaching still once in a while. Not very often. I try and keep it all on the in the group coaching, but one of the first things I tell people is expect to have issues.
Hmm.
Okay, you're going to. It's going to happen no matter how good I am or how good you are, Adam, at like coaching people. You're gonna have issues. That's a
Yeah.
guarantee. That's basically the only guarantee I'm gonna give you. But the key is not that the issue is gonna happen. That's guaranteed. Death, taxes, and issues. Um, it's how you handle it.
Yeah.
So because you're an entrepreneur, you have to have the mindset that problems are going to come up and I'm a problem solver. That's what I do.
Right. Yeah.
So when you go in with that mentality instead of, oh crap, a problem came up. Yeah, PicMonkey changed a button or they changed the color of a button or moved it over here or Facebook, man, Facebook's
Yeah.
ad
Facebook changed
dashboard has
everything.
changed like 45,000 times, right?
Yeah.
Where's that? I don't know where that button is. Oh, this training's out of date. Like, come on. It don't let that throw you off. If that
Hmm.
if that little tiny thing is going to throw you off, then maybe the business isn't for you.
Yeah.
Because with any business in the world, you're going to have issues and they're going to crop up. When you have a bricks and mortar business, you're going to have issues not only with, marketing and everything else. You're also going to have issues with like your if you have a warehouse or you have your storefront or you have
Yeah.
staff. Like you're going to have
Staff issues. Yeah.
yeah, you're going to have all these issues that you have to be a problem solver. So the biggest sellers I know, Bank being one of them, right? He's the
Hmm.
biggest problem solver I know
Yeah.
because when issues come up, he just solves it.
Yeah.
And same with me when Facebook starts to take a downturn, I'm not going to fold up shop. I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to go get a 9 to 5 job. I never could. I'm unemployable now, but um, no one would ever want me as an employee. No way.
Yeah.
And I've been approached by companies too, like online, and you've got offers too, right? Where they want you to come on and do this or handle the marketing or that kind of thing. It's like, wait, I'm working like as a salary person for you, like 100% of the time. I can't do that. I need some freedom here,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Exactly.
because you're a problem solver, so that's what you do, and that's what I do too. So Facebook taking a downturn, it happens. It's expected. I'm going through like my 10th appeal right now with the Facebook ad account, and
Yeah.
that means I've had 9 before that I resolved. And
Right.
I didn't quit. I just kept going and moving forward. I mean, this one's been frustrating because it's been a little bit longer than usual, but it happens. It's summertime. It's a slowdown.
Hmm.
I understand that. And it's actually, I'd rather have it happen now than in the fourth quarter
Yes.
because,
Yes.
I make a lot. Well, everybody does. We make a lot of money in the fourth quarter with print on demand. So yeah, anybody coming in new, I mean, now's the time to make the mistakes and to have the issues come up so they're solved. And then when fourth quarter hits, you're off and running.
Hmm. Awesome. Well, couple of last minute or last questions here. Have you had to look at the new personalization features? They haven't rolled out live yet for all of the sellers, but I've been playing with them a little bit, where you can personalize, and then have it filled automatically on Etsy. Have you tried that out yet?
This is on my to-do list. With me personally, July and August, I basically take them off. I'll
Hmm.
be honest with you, but that's the number one thing on my to-do list because having personalization on Etsy is the missing piece. That's the missing link. That man, when you can have that automated like this, which it is, right? You can create it on Gearbubble, push it to Etsy, and it's automated on Etsy the sale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like 99% of it's automated.
yeah. So that alone, I know I've got guys in my forums, and they do personalization. One guy was doing 150 mug sales a day, and he was doing the orders manually. So he
Oh,
was manually doing. I'm like, how did you do that? And he
oh,
goes, he was making like $10 profit margin or whatever it was. And
yeah,
I said, holy cow, man! Like, yes, you're making good money, but geez, you just traded time for money. Like
yeah,
you gotta figure out a way to automate that, or
yes,
you got to hire somebody to do that because he obviously hit on something good. But now if he can remove that one, spending 4 hours or 5 hours a day,
yeah.
imagine that you go cross-eyed, right?
It's
So
tedious. Yeah.
super tedious, and I
Hmm.
can't I can barely sit still for 20 minutes and you know myself I got like
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta get up and move and go do something and then I come back and finish it. So this automated uh Etsy personalization is something that I'm going to be leaning into very, very heavily,
Hmm.
starting like basically, well, you know, after the summer,
Yeah,
just for me.
yeah,
But September, I'm going to be digging into that. I'll be tinkering with it along the way to get it perfected. But I'm going to be loading up uh, an Etsy shop with personalization, and it's going to be automated. And I think this will be the best fourth quarter ever because of that side and the new jewelry. It's just going to be.
yes,
It's like having your business like just revitalized completely, right?
yeah,
Because you do when you've been doing it for so long and you've had a bunch of winners with the old products, it's good, but eventually you do get kind of bored,
yeah.
and you need like that challenge. And that, if the first time I set up the automation on Etsy, I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm sure something's not going to work, but I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to
Yeah,
figure it out.
exactly.
That's what we do. And Gear Bubble too. I mean, with you supporting people, and I know we got Kim in there supporting people. She's awesome,
She is
right? In the
awesome.
group, she anything I've yet to have an issue that she couldn't solve. So there's so much support. I mean, I'm there. I love Gear Bubble. I eat,
Yeah,
breathe, and sleep it. So Don's been very good to me, and I like the guy. He's actually a good dude. So I can't wait. I'm excited. It's gonna be
yeah.
good. Have you launched anything with it yet?
You know, I've played with it. Couldn't get it to integrate with Etsy yet, and I think it's because I'm missing a piece of the step. But that's kind of what I'm here to do is like just start banging on things and figure out where they're broken and let the guys know who can fix them. Say, hey, I it's broken here. Let's get it working. So yeah,
Yep.
and like you said too, this Christmas it was a little dry for Mother and Father's Day on the marketplaces because everybody kind of got let out of their cages. But we're back
Hmm.
to a normal sales level here. I'm seeing like good numbers on Etsy and Amazon. Um, this is going to be a good Christmas. We're not going to have the supply and delivery problems that we had last year, which kind of made
Right.
it a nightmare, to be honest with
Oh
you. It
God, yeah,
was it was
yeah,
hard.
yeah. And I actually think that the supply issues actually cost a couple of people their ad accounts,
Oh,
honestly,
yeah,
because
yeah,
and it's just nothing that it's nobody's fault, but it's I do believe that was a major factor in a lot of bannings over come January of this year, beginning of January. There was
yeah.
probably a lot of people that got the products took a little bit longer than they thought it would, but that happened. So
It
it's not
does.
the end of the
Yeah.
world. It's just
No.
there's so many other options, and there's even like places that there's some experimentals. I'm always experimenting too. You know that. I'm always
Hmm.
looking at anything. I've got some ad places that I haven't said to anybody yet, but I think there's a lot of potential in them, and I've been
Ooh.
tinkering with them.
All
So
right.
those are coming, and I think I'll have those up and running. But I'm the type of guy too. I'm going to try and go in and break it so that I master it, and then get it profitable, and then I'll teach it. But I'm not going
Right.
to do it unless I'm not going to teach it unless I actually do it myself. That's my thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and I'm sure I know you're the same way too.
Yeah. Yeah, I teach what I know. And
Yep.
I don't teach, paid traffic because I don't know it as well. But it's something that I've decided this year I need to at least um, dabble in. Maybe 20% of my time I'll push it in there, which means I
Yep.
need to get everything else, really tightened up and just become more efficient at everything that I do. So
Right on.
time management, it's hard
Yeah.
for you think that working from home you have all the time in the world, but really you don't. There's so many other things going on. Summertime is great. I do love the middle of the day. I'm like, oh, I got an hour. I'm just gonna walk over to the pool and go swimming. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been working from home since 2007.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it now. So everybody else in the pandemic, they're like, it's so weird working from home and the kids are home and they're remote learning. And I'm like, yeah, it is weird because people are in my space. Like, get out of my space. Like,
Yes.
this is what,
Yes.
like, welcome to my world, but get out of it. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this forever. So you're right. So if during the day, if I want to go work out, and I usually do, like, I'll go to the gym at like 1 o'clock when nobody's there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I love it, and that's the benefit of working for yourself from home. So I think a lot of people over the past year and a half they've just seen how great like working at home is. Some people are struggling because they need that water
Structure.
cooler interaction and that
Right.
structure,
Yes.
and that I get up, I leave, I come home, and there's a work home separation for
Yeah.
them. But for us, there really isn't one. So
No.
If you feel like working, late at night, you will. If I feel
Yeah.
like working middle of the day, I will. If I feel like going in the hot tub after lunch, I will. So
Mm,
there's a lot more freedom, but as long that's why I tend to do things on a week schedule instead of a daily schedule.
yes.
So I'll have
Yes.
a goal for the week, and then I'll hit that goal, and I'm good. Even if Monday, Tuesday I did nothing, Wednesday I really hit it hard. Thursday I hit it hard. Friday I did nothing. Saturday I maybe didn't do much. I hit my goal for the
Yeah.
week. So it's a whole different mindset and ball game, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
100% agree with you there. And I'm in the same boat where, daily the work fluctuates up and down. So sometimes it's like, okay, Wednesday, that's my new product creation day. And
Yeah,
I just block it out, and that's the day to do it. So, I mean, my advice for people who are hoping to work from home is don't rush it. Keep doing consistent work on a daily or weekly basis. It'll come eventually, but you need to be making about double your normal salary to make working from home kind of economically justified, because you got taxes, you got benefits that you're not getting from your job. So it's not, a one for $1 value.
true, true. And if you have a spouse or a partner that has benefits, makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my wife's a teacher, and thank God, because
Yeah.
otherwise we wouldn't have any benefits at all. I mean, I'd just be paying out of pocket for everything. So
Yeah.
I remember when, just real quick, when I first went on full time, working from home, I actually took paternity leave from my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got 6 months, and I think they topped it up to like 80% of my income. So I've been working since 2005 part time, but then kid came, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take paternity leave for 6 months. So I took it, and I remember at the end of 6 months they called me and they're like, hey, Will, you coming back? And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot about you. No. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
they're
right.
like, what? They're like, you're not? I'm like, well, hang on. Do I have to pay back the paternity if I don't come back? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, see ya. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm out of here. And I
Oh,
and I was
it's
done.
hilarious.
So yeah, it's not easy to jump from a full-time job to working from home full time, but it is possible. And
It
there,
is possible. Yeah.
you've done it, I've done it, a lot of people have done it. So it's
Yeah.
scary, but scary's good because it keeps you on your toes and it keeps things interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Living a boring life is just not the way that I want to do things. It's, having everything kind of planned out for you. It's not the way that I want to live. Well, I appreciate your time, Will. And one last thing, where can people find your work?
Oh, you go to the website ppc-coach.com. You can find me there, and I have a free Facebook group too, and we talk a lot about Gear Bubble in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can go there too. It's just ppc-coach.com/group. You can find
Slash
me there.
group.
Yeah,
Great. Well,
awesome.
that'll probably be the final note there. But appreciate your time, man. I mean, if you are willing to do, maybe once every 2 months or something, it'd be pretty sweet to do this.
Let's do it.
The
Let's
yeah,
let's
the
chat.
yeah. I might even steal some clippets from this to put on my podcast too, because why not,
Go for
right?
it.
Yeah.
Have at it. So the podcast, how's that? Like, how do you market that?
Um, at this point in time, I've been relying on sort of organic search. So I'll SEO the crap out of each post to try and capture some work from home stuff. But the biggest and easiest way to market is to appear as a guest on someone else's show. So
Oh, okay.
I appear. I don't know if you know who Tom Woods is.
I've heard of him. Yep.
Yeah. He Don was on Tom Woods' show, and they know each other quite well. And of course, I know Tom and I know Don, so they mentioned me in an episode. And then with everything happening in Canada, I was like, hey, you know what? I need to talk about what's happening in Canada with these lockdowns and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just contacted Tom and said, hey, you want to talk about this? So he
Right
gave me
on.
the opportunity to sort of share the podcast, and I doubled my listeners after that. So
Oh, sweet.
that
Sweet.
was magic. I've been thinking about experimenting with some YouTube. I know that YouTube ads would probably dominate with podcasts and stuff like that, because it's easy to target
people who are already kind of interested in this kind of stuff.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, I know the people who are my avatars, so to speak.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so
Do they
I,
have
I
channels on YouTube at all?
there are a lot of channels on YouTube that I know I could advertise on, and those people would be fascinated because I talk about some libertarian and politics stuff in the podcast too. So I think that
Oh
sort
yeah,
of would be it.
if you get into that too, I mean that should catch fire for you because that's people are
Yeah,
very passionate, right? So
I know. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that'd do very well. Yeah,
so
I've
much to
always
do.
thought of
Yeah,
podcasts, but then I'm like, I don't really know where to start, and it's just I'm kind of happy with what I'm doing. So
yeah,
but I do see the power of them. I think a lot of guys are making like really good money from them, and they're building their brand up huge with the podcast. You
yeah.
know,
It
so
you know it took 2 years for things to kind of settle a bit. So, and I know that I'm barely tapping the potential of podcasting, but getting a hold of my own time is going to be the biggest hurdle for me. So
right
just
on.
just getting consistency and making sure that the content is fresh and good. I mean that's fairly easy because there's always good content, but
Yeah,
consistency is challenging when you know it's easy to just say, "Oh, I'll record tomorrow," and
yeah. Well, that's why like the course thing and things going stale and getting out of date that really bothered me when
yeah,
I was doing courses. So that's why like on my forums I do live stuff,
yes,
and it makes it's the most up to date you can get.
that's
So
true. Yeah,
I have not heard anybody complain in the past like 2 years on my forums about that's outdated or anything like that because you can't because I
yeah,
do it every
yeah.
week. So yeah, even just for you, like going through with podcasts, I think I don't know if you always have to have a unique thing or if you can go revisit old issues all the time. Like,
I always revisit things that
yeah,
I've covered before because there's always some new thing
yeah,
to
that's
talk
it,
about
right?
with that. Yeah,
Yeah, so that would make it like really timely and up to date when you just
no,
I talked about this a month ago, but here's what's happened since, and I think podcasts will work awesome with that.
they do.
So
And
that's
a
cool.
video component, I think it helps, draw people in. They just like seeing what's happening. You can do some, live screen stuff or screen share stuff. I think
Yeah,
live streaming and then converting that into a podcast might be the way to go for the future.
yeah,
I'll have
for
to
sure,
really
for
plan
sure.
this out. It's
Well,
also easier. Yeah.
there's that program, Searchy. Have you seen that from
Searchy.
Searchy?
No.
It's
Oh,
called like Searchy IE. It's from Stu McLaren. He's
yeah.
like
Okay.
a
I saw Stu
yeah.
McLaren. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but his program, you can actually do the video, and it makes it searchable. So, which is very cool, and it'll give you a transcript. And I think his new addition to that is the podcast angle. So it'll pull audio only from it. So that could save like a ton of legwork, a ton of
Yeah.
manual work, right? But I don't know
Yes.
how difficult it. Well, like Camtasia would be easy to pull just the audio out, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
all good.
Stu McLaren. He's
He's
the
a membership
membership
guy.
site. Yeah. Yeah. Tom
I
had him on his show to talk about that too. So
Well, actually, I bought his like $2,000 program there
yeah.
this go around just because I've been doing membership sites forever and I
Yeah.
want to scale that thing. So that searchy thing though, it looks really cool because you can search for keywords on videos.
Mm.
So if you're doing, somebody's asking about anything, they type it in, it'll tell you the point at the video where it is, and it'll give
Oh.
you a link. So you click the link and you go to that point in the video,
Oh wow.
right?
Okay.
So like I have archives of like uh what am I? I'm on challenge like 22 on my forums. So each of those are 3 1-hour videos. So there's so much information in
Yeah.
there, but it's so hard for people to find because they'd have to go through each one. Now I've got a
Yeah.
table of contents, but that's not good enough. If I
No.
have like my own little search engine on all those videos and it goes right to the point in the video,
Oh yeah.
like
That's
holy crap.
that is
Like
powerful. Yeah.
yeah. So check that out and I know he's into podcasts too, big time. So I know he's got a podcast little thing he's working on for that program. Might help you out.
Well, so much to do. Like I want to clone myself 2 or 3 times so that I can be like, oh, you do this, you do that. and I'll do this. There's so much
God,
to
yeah.
tackle, so many angles on this. It's almost
Yeah.
it's overwhelming, but it's great. So
It
thank
is.
you. I
Yeah,
really
no, thank
appreciate
you.
you chatting with me here, and it's really great to catch up with you, fellow
Absolutely.
Canadian living
Yeah, for
in
sure.
the province that won't let go of pandemics, I guess.
Oh man, they're nuts. They're absolutely
Yeah.
nuts. Like, come on, jeez, like,
Yeah.
why do I have to still wear a mask? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. No,
I know you don't like them and you don't wear them, but I'm like, here, if I try to go into a store without a mask,
yeah.
they won't let me.
Yeah.
They won't let me. Like, they'll be like, get out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
If they say wear a mask, I'll wear a mask because I don't treat store
Oh,
owners
okay.
with disrespect. It's
Okay.
just it's if they don't make me, I'm not going to. So
Yeah. Well, we
I'll
even
wait for
like,
them to say it.
I got a neighbor here, and she was getting all antsy about the gathering size and all that outside. So
Uh,
my other neighbor on the other
brutal.
side had her family over for Easter, and it was only like 5 or 6 people, and they were outside the whole time. And then we were talking to her at the fence, and she's like, I can't believe they have people over. Like, they're not supposed to be doing that. Blah 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 blah. And then meantime, she brings her mom over like every other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, so okay, hypocrite. Like, either you think that way or you don't, and if you don't, then don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just like, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own opinion, and I don't want to wear a mask. That's my thing, but um, I, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate them. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
My biggest beef was just shutting down social life and
Oh yeah,
all these things that make people feel alive. You might be in your house alive, but that's not living. That's just existing.
yeah,
People need purpose. They need something to be looking forward to. Not
yeah,
just waking up and eating and watching Netflix. That's not life.
yeah,
That's just breathing and
yeah.
biological existence.
And like over here too, they shut down golf courses, and it's
Yes.
like the
Yes.
most outdoor,
Yeah.
like isolated sport you possibly have,
Yeah.
and you're shutting that down. Why? Because Doug Ford, the big tub, he's never golfed a day in his life, so
No. No.
he doesn't like it. So he's like, nah, I just shut it down. Who cares? Like, it's
Exactly.
amazing how like the politicians and what their tastes and what they like and what they don't like, that affects every decision that has happened over the past year and a half.
Yeah.
Really, like,
Becomes personal opinion becomes policy, and it's like
yeah. And I mean, you guys got locked. You got a doozy in there with you're in Alberta, right?
yeah. So we had Jason Kenney.
Yeah, and he was like hardcore, wasn't he?
He was hardcore. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ultra hardcore.
It wasn't even that the restrictions were onerous. It was just the enforcement of them was just absolutely dogmatic with no leniency whatsoever. But it was all in one direction. So,
Yeah.
there were certain religious groups that were just ignored, and then pastors were being like taken down at gunpoint on the roadway. Like,
Oh my God. Wow.
yeah, it was. It made news, made
It did.
international news. So
No, I heard
yeah,
about it here. Like,
yeah,
and I'm like, what is going on? That's
yeah.
yeah. That's politicians for you.
It's government.
Government
Well,
too. Yeah.
government. Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, sir, thank
Okay.
you so much.
Yeah.
You're king.
Thanks, man. We'll do this again soon.